Oh, this is great. AOL, turn that music down. AOL is getting rid of their dial-up internet service. At least that's what it says on this fax I just received. I'm very excited about that. That is great news. This news brought to you by the year 2003. Marty Lancton, do you remember dial-up internet?
I do.
It still exists.
I did, because when you tried to call somebody and they were on the internet, it'd either kick you off or it'd have a busy signal. And for those that don't know what a busy signal is, it's when you only had a rotary phone at your house and you were on it and then you couldn't get through.
Marty, I'm an elder millennial. I am 43 years old.
We're the same age.
Generally. Right, we are. We're about the same age. I can remember being a teenager in the 90s. And somebody in my social circle was doing something on the internet they shouldn't have been doing, downloading pirated software, a nudie Napster, and MP3s. That came a little later, I think.
Oh.
And then somebody's sister would pick up the phone, LimeWire.
Yep.
Yeah, what an embarrassing reason to get a computer virus. I was illegally downloading Metallica's Black Album. And what a time to be alive. Marty Lancton in studio right now. If you're just turning on your radio, it's a weird way to have a conversation with the, I guess, at the time being, the most popular Republican primary candidate for Harris County judge, which I'm talking about you at the gym the other day with some, I lift weights. I don't know if you know that. I lift. Do you lift?
Great.
Thank you. I lift. People that lift love to tell you that they lift. I lift. And I fly a plane, and I'm vegan, and I do CrossFit, and none of that's true, actually. And one of my buddies who I lift weights with is an older Republican. I'm not going to say he's an old guy, but, he's older than us.
He's older than you.
He remembers the old Republican Party, where a union leader for government employees would probably not be a Republican primary candidate for anything. And yet right now, for county judge in Harris County, the biggest county in Texas, one of the most important political positions in any municipal government in the state, you're the guy that a lot of people want to be the candidate. That blew his mind. But it's hard for people to understand this is not your grandpa's Republican Party. It's changed quite a bit, hasn't it?
Well, listen, I mean, I grew up here in Houston, born and raised, and family of 5, and I can tell you this, what people want is somebody that gets things done, stands up for the people that they represent, doesn't stand for corruption, and understands the role that you are in and that you are elected for, needs to be focused on the issues that matter most to Harris County residents. Listen, I've had very honest dialogues with you over the years. We are in the state of Texas. It is a at-will state, just like car dealers associations, just like doctors associations, just like business associations. It's the same thing for firefighters associations. And so all that means is that you have a voice to stand up. And I would argue in the city of Houston, what we dealt with for 9 years was a lot of things that were not happening correctly. The firefighters weren't getting taken care of. And, oh, by the way, we had a mayor at the time who was spending money on things that the taxpayers do not expect to be spent on when you're not taking care of public safety. So we stand up and we fight for what's right. And I'm going to continue to do that. I
don't know what you're talking about. You don't think we should spend more money for musicians at the airport, Marty?
Oh.
What?
Have you ever been there? I've never seen an actual musician. I've seen the stand, but I remember the time when they're telling us that taxpayers that are paying a lot of taxes, the number one priority of government is public safety. And if you don't have somebody that's taking care of the people, what are we spending money? Music at the airport? Harmony of the Sea? What is it? Harmony of the Sea?
Yeah, Harmony of the Sea, right.
Air or whatever.
People that aren't from Houston won't understand what we're talking. We're live streaming, but in addition to being on the radio right now, we're also live streaming online. And we have a pretty big reach around the Gulf Coast. We're on our morning shows on a lot of rock and talk stations around the South. So some people that are not from Harris County are very familiar with Lena Hidalgo and Sylvester Turner and Sheila Jackson Lee. And to some extent, you and I mean, friends, allies, whatever you and I are, they're the reason why I know you. For those that haven't listened to this, don't remember Marty being on this show several years ago, after Hurricane Harvey, we had the strangest thing happen in our city where our Democrat mayor went after a lot of the first responders, particularly firefighters, because he didn't want to have to pay them. I remember famously, we had a vote, and you guys were more popular than him. Now, they were two different votes. One was to decide if we'd keep Sylvester Turner as the mayor. The other was to decide if firefighters would get a menial pay raise for the first time in what I think was over a decade.
Over a decade.
And Sylvester Turner said he would rather fire the people that were the heroes of Hurricane Harvey and continue to have a poet laureate for Houston City and continue to pump money into musicians at the airport. What is it? Harmony of the Sky.
Harmony of the Sky. I still, there's a piano there. But listen, that's all great and wonderful. But at the end of the day, there's no rational explanation. And that's kind of the problem that has been going on here in this region. People just don't have honest conversations. They want to focus on issues that have nothing to do with the core tenets of what government is supposed to be. And listen, I tell everybody, you talk about grassroots. Nobody's more grassroots than what I do, what we do as firefighters, because what we want to do is get in the community and educate them about what's really going on with their tax money. And if it's not being spent the way that it should be, then you need to change that. And we took on a mayor who decided that he would much rather have harmony of the skies than to take care of the brave men and women of the Houston Fire Department. That is what motivates me every day. It's to take care of the people that we're supposed to and do it well. Don't make excuses. But the core tenet of government is to make sure you have public safety, infrastructure, flood mitigation, disaster response, disaster recovery. And when you don't focus on that, you spend your money on things that have nothing to do with the role of government.
Nothing to do with the role of government. I'm glad you brought all that up. For those that are not actively following news in Harris County, what is the biggest community in Texas, obviously, a lot has happened recently. Lina Hidalgo is, I'm going to put her up on the screen here. Lina Hidalgo, literally clutching her pearls in the screenshot here, is just very unpopular right now with the Democrat Party, to the point where even Anise Parker, our former Houston mayor, is now challenging, or has said, I think she is a legitimate candidate for Democrat Party judge, county judge next year.
That's what I've heard, yeah.
And so Hidalgo got censured last week for disruptive behavior during a meeting, including interrupting commissioners, using children to push a failed penny tax. She dragged a bunch of children out in front of the penny tax, they call it. It was a lot of money. I don't know why they call it a penny tax. You know, it's like calling it the Affordable Care Act or the Patriot Act. These are all the Inflation Reduction Act.
It's called marketing.
Yeah, it's a lie, right?
Yeah.
And anyway, so she gets censured by members of her own party. She drags children out into the middle of Commissioner's Court, does her best impersonation of Sesame Street's The Count. One vote for raising taxes. Nobody else wanted this. And I think part of the reason why is I don't think she's going to be one of your opponents next year. If you get the nomination, I don't think she wants to be county judge anymore. The rumor is that she wants to run for Congress. I don't know why. Even her own party, she's unpopular. I have been told by a very reliable source, now I don't know if this is true, that Sylvia Garcia is sick. The same person that told me this told me Sheila Jackson Lee was sick and Sylvester Turner was sick. And now they claim, I don't know, it's not as if this person's a medical doctor to any of these people, but somebody with inside information in the Democrat Party thinks Sylvia Garcia doesn't run again. Al Green probably will. I don't know why. And they think Lina Hidalgo is going to run for Congress. It's weird, though, because here in our area, I kind of think Gene Wu is the more popular Democrat, right?
Well, you know, I mean, that's a lot to digest at once. But I mean, listen, what people are going to do or what they are not going to do, that just means that somebody's not focused on the issues of Harris County. And what I can tell you is everybody I've spoken to, they're ready to have a county that works for them, to be calm in crisis and to have a leader. We don't use children as props. We don't politicize public safety. What we need to do is focus on the issue and the core tenet of what Harris County and the Commissioner's Court is supposed to be about. And you can't fix problems if you don't have collaboration and cooperation. And that's where maintaining and developing relationship matters, because at the end of the day, in order to make somebody's life better, you actually have to work with people and you don't spend your time trying to prove a point. That's no place for somebody that's trying to lead this county. Obviously, what we saw last week, I mean, I was shocked. That is not something that I think I've ever seen, and I've been in politics for quite a while. But when you're using kids and you're doing these things, it means that you're not focused on the issues that Harris County residents expect. And that is what we have to get back to, and that's what we will get back to. And I don't know that anybody has a rational explanation for that.
Okay, State Senator Mays Middleton tells me because of a policy he helped pass, it'll be a lot easier to remove Lina Hidalgo from office. I have friends like Alex Mueller, for example, who think that for political strategy purposes, it might be better to just leave her there. You know, we're halfway through the year already. Primary season is going to be right after that. I don't know. What do you think? Is it worth the effort to remove her from office, or should we just let the Democrats sit and marinate in the problem they created?
Well, I think you saw what Commissioner Ramsey has put out, and I think it kind of captures, you know, I think if you even read the opinion of the Houston Chronicle, I mean, you just needed one word from Commissioner Ramsey. Wow. I think that
right, it's true. Yeah,
what they've done is send a clear message, and I think what you're seeing from all sides is that is not what we are supposed to be doing as leaders, and that's not how we're supposed to be acting. And I think that's pretty historic, and it sends a message. But the focus for what we're dealing with is to address the people that we're supposed to be taking care of, is to protect the taxpayer, focus on the issues that Harris County Commissioners Court is supposed to be dealing with. And the more distractions that we continue to have, the less focus we are on leading this county and fixing those problems.
we have, obviously we're live on the radio right now, but we have a few hundred people watching us streaming on social media right now. If you are listening to us on the radio, you are about to hear a short pause for a commercial break. If you are watching us streaming online, we're not going anywhere. Give us seconds while we start the new segment. Stand around.
You're listening to Kenny Webster's Pursuit of Happiness. Please, if you're offended by anything you heard, take out a piece of paper, write down a detailed description of what bothered you, and fax it to 1-888. Nobody gives a f.
Can I start? Yes, please do. I wonder who the real Jew was.
Oh, this is interesting. An Indiana man, like a man in Indiana, just set a Guinness record by growing a 30-foot sunflower. The record was world's saddest farmer, I gotta think. Bless his heart. Hi, everybody. I'm Kenny Webster. We are back from break. That must suck, living in Indiana. You know what I mean? Marty Lancton in studio. It's not all serious here. We do have fun. This isn't KTRH. We tell jokes. We try to...
Don't even know where you pull these things from. This is pretty
remarkable. Every morning I get up and I write one-liners for us to tell on the radio. And then Steve tells me which ones I can and can't use during the show. And then and the ones that I can't use, I either use at a stand-up comedy show or here with you, the very serious Firefighter Union president, Marty Lancton. Marty, I just looking at some of the problems we're dealing with in Houston and Harris County right now, and you're Catholic, I'm Catholic. Yep. And I don't claim to be a Boy Scout, and I don't think you do either. But I was kind of surprised to hear Lena Hidalgo. Let me see if I could find the soundbite here. This, I did not expect from Lena Hidalgo. This is from back when Pope Francis died, and we got Pope Leo. And Lena Hidalgo said...
And as I said, I'm emotional because of the Pope. So apologize. Thank you.
She's emotional because of the Pope. Every time I hear that soundbite, I laugh out loud. Marty, I've never seen her at Catholic Church before. Have you seen her?
I have not seen her at my church, but I will tell you this. I mean, listen, my whole family is Catholic. My younger brother is a priest, and I think one of the things that is most telling is there's a time for us to be focused on our lives, our issues going on, and there's times to be focused on doing the job of what you're elected to do. And when you are sitting at the seat of a Harris County judge, your focus has got to be on what you are doing in front of you, solving problems, creating coalitions, collaboration, and fixing the problems. Oh, and by the way, hey, how about lower taxes? I mean, I know that that's probably something that seems very odd to some people, but instead of raising them, let's focus on what we need to, public safety being first, infrastructure, flooding. But, if you're talking about other things, you're not focused on the issues that are what you're supposed to be doing as Harris County judge.
But even the Democrats agree with that. None of them would support her on this last week when they had to vote to raise taxes so she could spend it on, I don't know, Sesame Street in Iraq or whatever it was. But Lena Hidalgo, her problem is she gets too involved in national politics. Do you know what I mean? She actually blamed Donald Trump for Jocelyn Nungary. I don't know how many people remember when this happened.
It hurts even more that they're being used as pawns in this fight over immigration that doesn't even exist because Biden and McConnell agree. It's just that Trump won't let him move it forward.
All due respect, Judge, you said this issue shouldn't be politicized, but by pointing the finger at former President Trump and Republicans in Congress, aren't you politicizing it?
I think I answered the question. So
Boy, does she hate Greg Grugan. She does not
Listen, simple questions that people ask, I think, are legitimate. And I think one thing I've told people all the time is, just have an honest dialogue. But one of the biggest issues is that when you're talking about here in this region, what I hear and see local leaders, some do, that are not being effective in doing what they're elected to do, is always project about issues that have nothing to do with your job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The job of Harris County Judge is to effectively manage the county, disaster recovery, emergency management, flooding, mitigation, infrastructure. And hey, by the way, something that I will talk a whole lot about is jobs. You got to have good skilled jobs. You've got port expansion. You got a lot of things going on. That is and should be the number one focus. You have to have a leader that is calm in crisis, that's not projecting every time something comes up that is an issue that nobody in the commissioner's court has power over. We've got to get people together, work towards solutions, and actually fix problems. But the more we talk about things that we don't have control over, all that does is try to virtue signal to whatever side you're trying to curry favor from. I don't really know. But if safety is important in Harris County, then you need to focus on that in Harris County and get the resources necessary. Stop talking about other things that don't matter in Harris County that don't affect your job, and do your job well.
I always liked John Whitmire as our mayor in Houston. It was him and Sheila Jackson Lee. We didn't have a choice. And I ran into him recently at a baseball game. Did you see that picture of us?
I did.
Dude, John Whitmire, I didn't agree with anything he did when he was a state senator. The guy is at a baseball game just walking around, no security, watching the Astros. It's like, Mayor Whitmire. He's like, Kenny, what's up? We start talking. I take a photo with him. I post it online. I forgot about it. By the end of the weekend, that photo appears on some progressive socialists for Texas group. They're like, Mayor Whitmire takes photo with local Nazi. Do you know how weird that is for me, Marty? I was recently at a Wu-Tang Clan concert. If I'm going to be involved in any clan, it's going to be the Wu-Tang. I didn't know what to think of that. And just like that, suddenly I became one of Whitmire's biggest supporters. There's now a recall effort to get rid of him because all he did was what Democrat mayors normally do, except actually go out and enforce the law and arrest criminals. How is that controversial?
That's the problem, and I've said it clearly over the years, really nothing to do with this race. I've said it in general. People are so focused on making every single thing an issue instead of focused on working with them. I can tell you the relationships I've formed are from all walks of life, everywhere. If the focus and mission is to solve a problem, you have to be accessible to the people. And if you're accessible to the people like Mayor John Whitmire is, in fact, I always tell, he probably won't like that I'm telling this story, but, unlike the current Harris County judge that I think has a pretty high bill for security.
We have to talk about that.
Mayor Whitmire tries to duck his security because he has always been a person of the people. And he likes to be out there. He likes to talk to him. He likes to talk to you directly. And he's probably, I would argue, one of the most accessible mayors we have had in history because that's just who he is. Even if you disagree with him, and you're free to have policy disagreements. I don't agree with a whole lot of policy decisions people make. But at the end of the day, you have to find a way to work together. You have to solve problems. And, Whitmire's not exactly the person that tries to be polished. He's more interested in substance than he is about trying to convince you that he's right. If you can't fix a problem for the people you represent, you're not doing your job. And that's the only focus that I have. That's the focus that he has. And imagine what you can do when you're working together and you're not actually fighting with the city all the time. You're not fighting with the county. You can pick up the phone and you can work together and collaborate.
All right. Well, Whitmire and Hidalgo have not gotten along well, unfortunately. A lot of public disputes about their relationship. They have friction. Some mental health comments. Whitmire speculated to the Houston Chronicle in December of 2024. Hidalgo might not run for re-election in 2026 due to her mental health struggles. Lack of formal meeting. I believe he said that her fiance looked like a dork or a nerd or a geek or something.
I think I heard something about that.
He's not wrong about. I actually thought that was hilarious. But whatever. Who cares? He's real. The woman spent $900,000 on personal security in 2024. What did she need? Let's just say it's $1 million. We need to spend $1 million to keep Lena safe. From who? Who's going to hurt her?
You know, I think it's for some that seems to be, you know, hide behind kind of security. Our previous mayor always used to have a pretty heavy security detail, and I think you juxtapose that with Whitmire being at a baseball game and him walking up saying, "Hey, you know, let's talk or take a photo." All I know is that when you are an official that is in a position of power that's supposed to be taking care of the issues of the city or the county, number one, you need to be accessible. But number two, if there's an active threat, nobody wants anybody to get hurt. But I don't see a world where John Whitmire is walking around looking over his shoulder and he's worried. So I don't understand why somebody would spend that much money on a security detail. It doesn't make any sense. But again, we go back to rational leadership and having a calm voice in the room that understands, you know, does the average taxpayer think that that's okay?
Yeah.
And they don't.
In politics, I always think when I'm trying to weigh somebody, when I'm trying to, you know, size somebody up and figure out what I think about them, who are their enemies? Whitmire's enemies are not conservative Republicans. His enemies appear to be like far left Marxist, like open border, empty the jail, taxpayer funded, gender affirming care for kids. This is the stuff they're advocating for. If that's your enemy, then Whitmire is probably my friend. I mean, that's how I feel.
Well, but all the issues, whether it's, you know, it doesn't matter what side of the aisle it is on. My question that I always put out, is that the role of the Houston mayor to do any of the things that we're talking about? And it could be on, you know, the other side too. His job is to run the city and to fix the problems, public safety and the infrastructure. There's a reason why you keep hearing this stuff over and over again, because if it was fixed and it was done appropriately, we wouldn't need to talk about it. But when Whitmire came in, and I told him beforehand, I said, you know, it's a mess, and I've studied it. I dealt with the corruption. I tackled it head on. I wasn't afraid. I got attacked for it. I mean, they even tried to fire me. And I told him, I said, if you're doing the right thing, people come out of the woodworks to try to make sure that the wrong thing or the bad thing always stays the same. And I'm not about that. I'm about actually addressing problems and fixing them.
All right. We have, I feel like we've just spent 2 segments doing the warm-up interview here, but you answered a lot of questions I would have asked you already. Let's ask there's 3 most important questions. First of all, let's address this. You haven't officially announced your candidacy for Harris County Republican primary candidate yet, but I think most people know you're going to run. So where are you on that?
Well, you know, as with everything, some people like to get out ahead of things. And, you know, I think at my camp, we've confirmed that we're running, but our campaign hasn't officially launched. It'll be launching next week, and we'll have information we're going to be sending out to everybody. And the support that we have and the encouragement has been truly amazing. But that's built upon a long time of developing relationships and finding solutions to problems. And if I can take on, you know, an administration in the city of Houston that treated the firefighters the way they did, and they tried every trick in the book, my focus is on doing the same thing for Harris County residents.
I think the thing that some people will be concerned about, and I don't see this as an issue, I just want to bring it up because I want to hear how you respond to it. Several years ago, you famously had a public feud with Turner and the police union. Just to be clear, you're pro-cop. I mean, you're pro-keep the criminals in jail, right?
100%. And I can tell you this, this goes back to what we talked about. Having a policy difference in a discussion is way different than having an issue with anybody. The Harris County Sheriff's Organization, I'm very close with, always support Houston police officers and the HPOU. There is not a time that has gone by over the course of 9 years where we have ever and would never stand with our brothers and sisters in blue. We absolutely know what they deal with because we're out in the streets with them every single day. We have a great relationship, and, you know, I'm excited to get the things done. But, you know, Harris County sheriffs have been neglected, much like the Houston firefighters were neglected, and their leadership are people that I am very close with, and we're going to make sure that the police in Harris County are taken care of and to make sure that it's not just lip service.
I love it. I think that's a perfect answer. All right, let's get a little controversial before you walk out of here. This is probably going to upset some people. Where's your favorite barbecue place? About to get you canceled.
You
aren't
are about to give me that. You just pull one out of nowhere.
Inside, let's do this. In the loop, out of the loop, outside of the city. What do you like?
I mean,
in no specific order. Where are you getting barbecue? You're in Uptown right now. Someone says let's get brisket. Where do you go?
In Uptown. If I'm over the Rice Village area, good company. Barbecue's been there forever.
Levi, good guy. Yeah.
Papa's Barbecue, I always go there downtown. Oh, and
what? Papa's Barbecue.
Yes.
I got nothing against him, but that's like the Bill Miller Barbecue of Houston.
No,
that's where you go.
We've gone there. There's one right downtown that we always go to. You got Truth Barbecue that's over off Washington that I love. I mean, Reveille Barbecue. Actually, one of our firefighters, Houston firefighters, actually started, I think, Reveille. And if I've gotten the name wrong, I'm sorry. I'm going to tell you in advance. But there's a number of places. I mean, they're popping up. That's what makes Houston, Harris County great. We have a lot of people that have roots here that believe in this county and the city that we live in. And listen, I'll eat anything. Except mayonnaise and mustard.
Except for mayonnaise. Except for ketchup on a hot dog, I hope. All right, Rogel's. It's technically pronounced Regel's Barbecue. Have you been there over on?
No.
Oh, it's outstanding.
That's right.
Tex-Mex, where are you going?
Ooh, good company, tuck it to you.
Really? Very loyal to Levi.
Well, listen, I grew up, my son and I, we call it Tabasco breakfast. We every weekend, since I was a kid, I would go there. And everybody there I remember flicking the pennies in the fountains when I was a kid, and that's what my son did as he was growing up. But I mean, listen, I'll take anything in Houston. We Harris County, Houston, we got the best Tex-Mex ever. But now you're really going to get me canceled.
It is one of the top 5 food cities in America, and it's certainly the best one in Texas. Marty, when you announce, I can't imagine Steve and I are not going to endorse you. It seems like you're the guy, and a lot of first responders in the city are cheering for you. I know a lot of the Republicans in the city are cheering for you. The Republican Party's changed a lot in 5 to 10 years. I don't think I could have been a Republican 10 years ago or before Trump or before this current era that we're in. So you running as a GOP candidate, you have our support. If people want to learn more about the campaign that hasn't been announced yet, where do they go?
Well, we'll be announcing it, but we'll send out that information, but LanctonforHarrisCounty.com. And we'll be pushing out a whole bunch of information, a list of endorsements, and we really look forward to working with the community and finding the voices. So we look forward to hearing from you, and let's get this done.
I love it. Hey, to the rest of you, we'll be back bright and early tomorrow morning for more of what you bought a radio for. Have a great day.
You are listening to the Pursuit of Happiness Radio. Tell the government to kiss your ass when you listen to the show.
You on? Cool. Hey, everybody. Ken Webster Jr. here. Roughly about 300 of them. And so this upsets a lot of people. We live in a city and a Coke because Mayor Turner's stupid. Mayor Turner's so ugly. Mayor Turner's so ugly, he was disqualified from an ugly contest because they said professionals weren't allowed to participate. That is pretty